Better production quality, Fallout mods, and a giant bronze middle finger.
All that today and more on Nerd Hard.
Welcome to Nerd Hard, the show that takes you around the Nerdiverse and back.
From sci-fi and fantasy to comic books and cosplay.
If you can geek out about it, we'll talk about it.
Episode 2. Too fast, too nerdy.
Welcome everybody back to our second episode and our first episode in our new
new shop.
Yeah.
I say shop because the studio is technically built in his shop.
Yeah, it's my old shop and our new studio. So if you hear rain sounds or traffic or local kids or dogs,
it's because we haven't silent-proofed it.
Yeah,
soundproofing is... Fuck, there I go again.
Soundproofing is one of the next things to do, but yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
So today we got a pretty good episode for you. We got another top 5 list. We've got a little bit of information about Fallout 4 mods already. It's not even out, but mod information already.
And once again, we'll get a thing from the crazy artist on his film rant of the day.
Yeah, another film rant. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great episode.
All right, well, let's get into it. Time for news from the Nerdiverse. Well, I got a couple of news stories here that we're going to cover. One, let's start out with Bethesda. Fallout 4 is announced to be coming out November 10th this year. I'm super excited. I got my Pip-Boy version already ordered.
Sorry, Nerdiverse, I did not buy the Fallout 4.
Yeah, well, we'll fix it. Bethesda has announced BethesdaNet, or BethesdaNet, or BethNet, one of something like that, where they're going to be providing Fallout 4 mods officially. Bethesda has always been really good at providing some sort of kit for people to create mods for their Elder Scroll games, their Fallout games, anything using those engines. But they're going to be providing those mods to console players. So both players on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Yeah.
Is the mods to console a new thing?
Yeah, well, brand new.
Because I have never, ever heard of mods on console.
Yeah, the console plebes are finally going to be able to join the PC master race and experiencing the fan-made content that is delivered almost, by the minute in gallons. Borderlands movie adaptation coming from Lionsgate.
I want to see this.
I'm really excited about this.
I really hope.
Huge fan of the Borderlands series. I love anything post-apocalyptic, and dark humor is always better. And nobody gets dark humor like Borderlands does. There's some of the things that they've done.
Tiny Tina's my fave.
And so, from what I'm assuming, it'll likely be Borderlands, the first game, not Borderlands 2 or any of the.
I think they'll actually go. I hope they go with the story. That way, it actually boosts some interest in the games for those who haven't played them.
Yeah, we'll probably get a lot more background story to some of the things that occurred during Borderlands, or it's even possible that they may go someplace else different and give us a new character that follows around the main characters or something like that.
That could be something.
And of course, claptraps. There will be claptraps, and those will be so goddamn hilarious. Because if they fuck up claptrap, I will burn down their studio.
Oh my god. You shouldn't say that, man. Not even on the internet. Now there's evidence.
Last speculation that I've got here is that Captain America Civil War, we've already seen a lot of things for that coming out, and taking a look forward at some of the movies that are going to be coming out in the Marvel Universe, and we've got Thor Ragnarok coming on the line. But that does mean that there could be some really interesting plot developments going on with that. We can move from Thor Ragnarok, which is going to involve a lot of the deaths of the Asgardian gods, coming down to a possibility of there being a confrontation between Iron Man and Thor in one of the scenes that out of comic books that gave me the absolute most tingles when Iron Man shows up to confront Thor in his new Asgard that he's built right in the middle of BFE in the heartland of America, on land that he purchased from a farmer for all of the gold that he could carry out of the treasury. and in order to tell Thor that he's not allowed to be there. So Thor lifts New Asgard into the air and says, "Look, we're not on your continent anymore," and then proceeds to kick the shit out of Iron Man in his Thor Buster armor, and gives an amazing speech about how he's done fucking around. So it'll be really cool. But the natural progression after that leads to World War Hulk, which is one of the greatest lines of stories I've ever read. So I can only hope that 2018, 2019 will be sitting in the movie theater watching the Hulk begin to fornicate with the skulls of every character that comes up against him. So now it's time for another film rant with a crazy artist.
Let's go pick him up.
Really, Joe?
I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyways.
Whatever, just roll the film rant card. What's up, Nerdiverse? I'm the Crazy Artist. This is Film Rant. Now, last week we talked about three-point lighting, which is going to greatly improve your overall production quality. So I figured, why not continue in that vein? So for the next few episodes, we're going to continue talking about how to improve your production quality. Let's get into this. YouTube is an amazing place, full of dancing cats, viral videos, and rickrolls.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Is it sad that I missed the rickroll? Anyway, YouTube is an amazing place, full of unique opportunities you can't find anywhere else on the planet. There are people on YouTube who make a living filming themselves playing video games. This is a thing. One YouTuber sold his show to Disney for like $500 million. $500 million! And then there's that Justin Bieber kid who got discovered on YouTube. Now he's a rich douchebag who looks like Miley Cyrus. The point I'm trying to make here is that YouTube is the only place I know of where the average person can become something that they're not. Which is probably why you're watching me right now. Problem is, everyone knows that YouTube can turn you into an overnight global phenomenon, so every fucker with a camera is clamoring to YouTube trying to get a ride on that fucking gravy train.
All new Gravy Train, the beef gravy meal with homemade appeal.
Which means now more than ever, you really need to stand out from the herd. So today we're going to talk about cameras. That's right, YouTubers. If you really want to stand out, you're going to have to invest in a decent camera. Now, what do I mean by decent camera? Since we're talking to YouTubers and not a bunch of filmmakers, I'm going to keep it really simple with three categories. The first of which being point and shoot. Then there's DSLR and professional end cameras. Which I'm not even going to talk about because I can't for the life of me figure out a reason why a YouTuber would need a pro end camera. Plus, they're really fucking expensive. Seriously, the Red Epic Dragon, $50K for the body. No lens. So let's talk about some cameras that you can afford, starting with the point and shoot category. Point and shoots include the actual point and shoot camera, an HD video camera, a GoPro, or a webcam. These cameras have one lens and auto everything turned on, which isn't to say that like the HD cameras don't have a manual setting, but they don't have near the control that the next category of camera has, the DSLR. DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex, which probably doesn't mean shit to you. And truthfully, you really don't have to worry about it. Later on in the series, I'm going to do a whole indie filmmaking section, and I'm going to go way too much detail about cameras and lenses and all that bullshit. But right now, all you need to know is that a DSLR can take your production quality from this to this. No, literally, I mean this. Everything doesn't have to have a cutaway. What the hell's wrong with you people? Now, I know some of you use your cell phone or your webcam because you might be a little intimidated by a DSLR camera. They look like there's a lot of bells and whistles, and I am not going to lie to you, there are. But I guarantee you that somebody on YouTube has made a tutorial about how to operate pretty much every camera on the market, ranging from beginner all the way up to pro. What, you don't believe me? I use a Panasonic GH2. Search for it. Better yet, type in how to use a GH2. I dare ya. Don't worry, I'll wait. Told ya! Another good thing about DSLR cameras is you can pick up a good one for around $500, and it comes with a lens, unlike the Red Epic camera. So if you really want to get noticed on YouTube and stand out from everybody else, a DSLR camera is a worthwhile investment. And with a DSLR camera, you can get really cool effects like depth of field. Look, I'm blurry! And now I'm not. That's because my camera currently has a pretty shallow depth of field. Don't worry about that. I'm going to do a whole thing on camera basics in a few episodes, so once you get your DSLR, I'm going to show you how to get the most out of it. So that's it for today, folks. If you really want to stand out on YouTube, it's time to invest in a better camera. Rant over.
It's time for our top 5 today. Today's top 5 is
a pretty good top 5, man.
the top 5 real-life trolls.
First, Number 5 is, ladies, don't ever, once you've broken up with a man, don't ever accept that free tattoo.
From what I understand, this lady is the ex-girlfriend of the tattoo artist, and still went back in to get the free tattoo that he promised her.
And when it was all said and done, it was a pile of shit with 5 flies swarming around the top.
Talk about a shitty tattoo.
Bumps. Coming in at number 4. This is another don't piss off your old lady, right?
It's very possible.
Yeah,
either that or
either
his
that-
friends are
trolling
rich
him hard.
jerks.
Yeah, that's not something you want flying around about yourself, right?
No, that's a lot of people to find out that you have an issue.
I think they call it a medical problem.
Oh, okay. Is that what they're calling it these days?
I don't know. They're
All
not wrong, Jeremy.
right. For number 3, we're gonna go to CA.
Coming in at number 3, back in 2010, Justin Bieber had this My World Tour site where people could vote to see what country he should tour next. And Chan 4 heard about this and saw a golden opportunity to fuck with a teen pop star and decided to rally its users to spam the page and vote for North Korea. For those of you that have a short attention span, back in 2010, Kim Jong-il still ran the fucking country. He hadn't taken a dirt nap yet, which makes this even funnier. Now, technically, I think sending Justin Bieber to North Korea might have been considered an act of war, but still hilarious. Anyway, it worked. So for a month after voting went up, North Korea had like over 100,000 votes. Then BuzzFeed got a hold of this and made an infographic of how to get into the prank. And it went crazy after that. Then a bunch of news places like the Gawker, the Independent, and even the BBC all got a hold of it. All told, after 2 lousy months, when they closed the site because of this, North Korea had like 659,488 votes. Awesome! Makes this probably the best online prank I've ever seen. Thank you, Internet. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, CA. And for number 2, we're gonna move on to Danny LaRiviere. Sorry about that. I America'd that up real good. But the Quebec mayor who gives his wife a 20-ton boulder as a birthday gift. It's amazing to see the size of this boulder. And finally, we're gonna move on to number 1, which is a man simply identified as Alan buys a house next door to his ex-wife to erect a giant middle finger right on his porch, facing directly into his ex-wife's kitchen, in order to say "fuck you." That's about the only thing that could translate into. Yeah. As far as I know, he is completely in his rights to do that because he's just building it on his porch and it's an art installation, from what I was reading. But seriously, that is the trolliest thing I've ever seen. And that's kind of what I'd like to do if I got rich.
So
just a little bit of.
So the lesson we've learned today is don't piss off your exes, huh?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of revenge here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's time to move on.
You know what? I think it's time to drive this away.
All right. Well, that's our show for today. If you have any feedback for us or have any suggestions for future episodes, make sure to hit us up in the comment section.
If you really like us, go ahead and put that pedal to the like metal.
To keep up with everything Nerd Hard, make sure to subscribe.
And throw us in the trunk. Take us over to your friend's house. Share us.
If you want to keep up with us on social media, make sure to hit us up in the links in the description area.
And as always, thank you for watching Nerd Hard.
I'm Drew.
I'm Joe.